Hello, Grumps. How's it going? I'm here for two reasons. Number one, I'm going to talk about the uh, the package I got in the mail today, which is quite a surprise and a very pleasant surprise. And then I'm going to talk about our movie for our monthly project, which is The Wolfman. So let's talk about the package first of all. Almost knocked me on the floor when I saw this package from Jay Harvey, Blu-ray Jay. Thank you, Jay. I couldn't be more surprised. He sent me these two Rolling Stones concert DVDs. One is Ladies and Gentlemen, the Rolling Stones from 1972. This takes place in Texas. And another one that took place in Texas, Some Girls from 1978. That is Some Girl on the cover there. Yeah, sure is. But I've never seen either one of these, and this will be so cool. Thank you, Jay, very much. They just a whole list of songs, but they both feature my number one favorite Rolling Stones song of all eternity, which is "Jumpin' Jack Flash." So I can't wait to see how they do it in these DVDs. I remember this playing in the theater back in the day, and I don't know where in the hell I was, but I didn't see it. So the only concert footage that I actually own of the Rolling Stones is Gimme Shelter, which of course is fantastic for so many reasons, not just for music, but this will be a lot of fun. So thank you, Jay. Totally unexpected surprise. And Jay also sent me a note, and I usually don't read these personal notes that people send me, but this one's funny, so I'm going to read it to you. Mike, hope all is well in Champaign and you're not hermiting too much. Well, good luck with that. Hopefully these concerts of the Stones in their prime will get you dancing around the house. Don't break a hip. Your buddy Jay. Well, thank you, Jay. I appreciate your being concerned about me breaking a hip. So I will be careful, I promise. All right. Now let's talk about our movie for the month, chosen by Sir Ian of Mountfordshire. And since we are in the month of All Hallows, we are talking about horror films. This is The Wolfman from 1941, which I have two editions, the single edition here, and then the Legacy, which I bought not that long ago, really, but very happy to have both of these. Terrific artwork on this one. All right, so The Wolfman. Now, two guys in our group have already made videos, and let's see, Ian made his first, and then Bob of the North made his. Now, Bob likes the film very much, which doesn't surprise me. Ian, on the other hand, how did he put it? I think he wants to like it, but he just can't bring himself to like it or something like that. But he wants people to give him reasons why he should like this movie. So I'm not sure I can help you, pal. I really don't know if I can. I've always loved this movie because I always have loved the movie. I don't know any other way to explain it. I first saw The Wolfman and all the other Universal classics going all the way back to the year 1962 when I was 11 years old, and they started showing on late night TV in my my area of the universe. And I sort of had this big onslaught of Universal classic horror films, one after the other, you know, loving every one of them, even though I suppose as I thought about it years later, there were some that I was more impressed by than others. Some I found more impressive than others, but I like them all and do to this day. Now, I really can't remember if when I first saw The Wolfman that I actually found it scary. I don't really know if I did or not. Maybe I did, at least a little bit, maybe a little bit exciting and shocking and all that because it was so new. I don't know. I certainly don't think it's a scary film now, but it has all the sort of normal and expected Universal Pictures dark ambiance, the woods, the mist, the music, all the music in all these films. It seemed like they use the same music over and over again, and it has a great cast of actors. This is the movie where they were trying to make Lon Chaney Jr., who is anything but a scary guy, anything but. They were trying to turn him into a horror star simply because he was the son of Lon Chaney, who had made so many creepy and horror films back in the late 1920s. And so even though Lon Chaney Jr. doesn't seem to be anything like his father in any way, but he had been around for a long time making all kinds of films. And so they wanted to make him into a horror star at Universal. And so he eventually not just Didn't just play the Wolfman, but also Frankenstein. He played Dracula, the Mummy, all this stuff. And I love Lon Chaney. He's a very sympathetic actor. You can't help but like this guy and care about what's happening to him on the screen. And Larry Talbot, the guy who gets attacked by Bela Lugosi, the werewolf, who was only in the movie for not that many hot minutes, but he's still Bela Lugosi, and he's very impressive. But Larry Talbot is definitely a tragic figure, a very tragic character. You can't help but care about what happens to this man. So it's to me, it's sort of a fast-moving action film. It has a lot of talking in it, which they tend to do in a lot of these horror films. They turn into sort of like talk fests as much as they are action films. But this has enough action to keep people interested. It has great actors like Claude Rains, who was top billed. We have Ralph Bellamy, Patrick Knowles, Maria Osmanskaya, who played the Maleva, the gypsy woman. She, I never thought about this before, but since Ruth Bader Ginsburg is so much in everybody's consciousness right now, she is the spitting image of Ruth Bader Ginsburg if Ruth Bader Ginsburg was a gypsy instead of a judge. So that's kind of interesting. But I always like that lady. It's always cool to see her with that terrific voice and all that. Of course, Bela Lugosi, beautiful Evelyn Ankers, and one of her first Universal films, and she became the most popular female victim in all of the Universal films. Anyway, there's so much about this that I love, and I really can't convince you, Ian, that you should like this. I guess you either like things or you don't. Now, by 1941, the Universal horror films were a lot more formulaic than they were in the beginning. I mean, you have things like the wildly expressionistic, almost insane Frankenstein by James Whale, and its sequel, the equally crazy, although a little bit less expressionistic, The Bride of Frankenstein. And then you have the almost silent Dracula, directed by Todd Browning, with all of its gothic weirdness. And then you have The Old Dark House, which is really, really off the rails. But as the Universal horror films went into the 1940s, they were sort of formula. You have things like Frankenstein meets the Wolf. They all started meeting each other and making these community monster films, all of which I love. They're terrific, but they were all kind of the same. So I don't know if audiences back in the 1940s would have found any of these movies scary. Maybe they did. I don't know, but I think they're quite different in quality and scope than the ones that were made in the early 1930s. So one thing I want to say now, I hate to come off like a cynical jerk. Well, that's not true. Actually, I enjoy being a cynical jerk, so I do it very well. Am I the only one who does not believe that it was Lon Chaney Jr. running around the woods in that werewolf outfit? Am I the only one who believes that had to be a stuntman or another actor playing that part? Now, I know that Lon Chaney did this sort of a transformation scene, but well, you only see his legs. You see a little bit of hair on his face, then you see his legs, and he's walking out of the place. At the end of the movie, you see Chaney, the Wolfman, turning back into Larry Talbot after he's killed. So you get to see Chaney's face in full werewolf makeup and then transitioning back to his normal face. And if you look at that face, to me it looks different than the face, the shape of it and everything else of the guy who is actually in the woods running around in the mist killing people. And it looks like a different physique as well. I never thought about this until maybe a couple of years ago, and I watched The Wolfman again after a long time, and I just took a closer look at it, and I guess I just don't believe that was Chaney doing all that stuff. And now you look at the artwork on this Legacy. That looks like Lon Chaney's face dressed up as the Wolfman, and that looks like a different face. Actually, this face here is of course is a drawing, but it looks a lot like the guy who was running around the woods, and it doesn't look to me like Lon Chaney. You can see on the back here, very kind of hard to see, but yeah, does anybody else wonder about that, or am I the only one? And it doesn't spoil it for me, and I'm not saying that Lon Chaney didn't play it in the other films. I don't know. I need to watch those again. It's been quite a while, but now that I've got this in my head, I'm going to be very skeptical. But what does anybody else think? Just let me know. So that's my video. Ian, I don't think I helped you, but anyway, comments are welcome.